I launched my tiny art and healing business a week ago, and I feel absolutely terrible. I haven't been there in such a long time. Back into the pain, back into the suffering and the fear. Is there a world out there? Is there a life out there worth living? I think that's what it is. I thought I'd never see the light again. And holy shit, that's daunting. For the first time in my life, at 27 years old, these last few months, I've had my own back. Hello, creative travelers, and welcome to this, what I would say is a very unexpected chatty video. I did not plan to make any sort of this video, any kind of this video, to be honest, because I did not expect to feel like this in any way. And so this video is basically me just, like there's probably no conclusion to this video. There's no conclusion to the chat we're about to have. It's just me feeling very lonely, very vulnerable, very confused. And I hope that by voicing these things aloud, if you, for example, find yourself in a similar situation, maybe you can find some comfort in knowing that you're not alone. And also, if you have some advice or some wisdom or some tips or some perspective on this, I would really, really love to hear that in the comments, because yeah, I've been looking everywhere on the World Wide Web, trying to understand what this feeling is. Because again, I didn't expect to feel this bad, and I haven't found it. Like, all the videos I've seen of people achieving big things or launching their businesses or something, it's like a very celebratory, happy moment, and I'm not feeling that. I'm not feeling it. So I'm just gonna talk about things, about these feelings, about the past few months. I think it's just gonna be a long overdue update kind of video. And yeah, like I said, if you have some advice to give, I'd love to hear it, because my heart needs it. My heart and my soul really needs it. So if you're new here, my name is Frederike, and before we get started, I guess I'll give a little bit of context on everything. A little over a year ago, I had an experience. Okay, no, we need to start this differently, because the most important thing, I guess, to know here is that I am a highly sensitive person with a very vulnerable heart who has struggled with mental health issues ever since I was third person, ever since I was 9 years old. Because of an incident that happened when I was very young, and it kind of just threw me off the whole normal children's, teenage, young adult path. And so up until recent years, I have just been struggling heavily with mental health struggles. This led to me being, of course, unemployed. I do not have any of the degrees, any of the school education. I've gone to primary school and like high school, a little bit of high school, but I fell out pretty quickly. And I've never had a job. I've never been able to get a job. I've never had any degrees in anything. I've never been employed. And I was given welfare when I was 18, I think. So support from the government very early on. And I've been living on that ever since, because of my mental health struggles. And a little over a year ago, I had an experience where I really was just faced with the reality of my safety, everything that I have is not within my control, really. It is, the government is controlling that, because I don't earn my own money. I just get a monthly income kindly given by the government from this. Yeah, I live in Norway, by the way, if that helps for any context, but I get a monthly income just by sitting on my ass, basically, just for being who I am, which I'm so incredibly grateful for, because I wouldn't have had any of this if it wasn't for that. I do, of course, have my partner, but right now we're just talking about, I guess, my situation and just my independency and all of this. Anyway, I had an experience last year where I was really faced with the realization that I am kind of not in control. Everything that I have is reliant on something outside of me. And that was very, very scary. that really was like yeah, I guess I just woke up suddenly because of the thing that happened, and I was like, gosh, I am not in control. And I know that life can't be controlled. Like, that's something that I'm really learning now, is that I'm letting go of trying to control life in any way. It's not possible, but there are certain things, right, where we can have more control than other places. Anyway, so I had that experience. I got the realization of, gosh, I don't want this anymore. I don't want to be in this situation. I don't want to live the rest of my life in fear of that something in the government, something in my country might happen where everything falls away and I'm nothing, right? I'm just a helpless little bird who can't do anything. So I started learning a little bit about business and find that, oh, that's an interesting topic. I'm interested in this. And so I started learning about it. And not long after that, I was like, okay, what if I were to start a little business? Like, what if I were to try and create something for myself, right? I'm so blessed with the opportunity to be able to work on something whilst not having to worry about where my next meal is coming from. Maybe I should actually start putting this energy into some good use. And from that was born the ideas just started to come. And I realized that I want to create something that can be of comfort and of hope to anyone who might need it. And I want creativity to be the heart of all of that. Because I'm an artist. For those of you who don't know, I'm an artist living in Norway. So 10 months ago, I was just, from day one, I started building this business, and I just had a couple of threads. Like, there was nothing complete in my head of how I was going to do it. I knew nothing. I literally nothing. Like, I'd heard a couple of podcasts and read a little bit about business, but one thing I understood from doing business stuff is that you need to do it, right? To understand and to learn from it. It's just, you can read a gazillion books about all the topics, but nothing teaches you the way that action does. So I took action. I started building this little thing, and it led me to creating an art and healing kit. It led to an art and healing kit. It led to Imovara, which I'll tell you more about soon. And yeah, it just led to, it was as if everything that I've had the tiniest bit of interest for in my life, everything that God has given me of interest and has given me in my life, it could come together through this idea, through this little businessy art and healing journey that I started on. Like, suddenly I could use everything that I ever learned outside of the school system, right? I've loved writing from I was a young age. I've learned photography and painting and video editing and like all this kind of stuff. It all could come together and be unified as a beautiful creative practice for me personally in this little idea. And I was like, oh my God, literally, God, you've given me this, like, this is what I meant to do. I had that moment, which was just incredible, of everything just suddenly making sense. So yeah, from that, we got the Forest of Life, which is the first art and healing kit in the emotional world of healing and growth. Now, what I'm talking about is we have, from all of this bloomed Imovara, which is an emotional universe. It's a fantasy emotional universe that I've created. Imovara doesn't mean it's like an unused word. It's a word that I made to describe this universe, and I love it so much because it basically just, to me, this word means love, light, and creativity and unity. So Imovara is the emotional universe, and our emotions, our individual emotions, are worlds within Imovara. So we travel through emotional worlds with creativity as our guide within Imovara. Inside Imovara, we use creativity as our guide to learn self-expression, to learn to heal, to learn to reconnect, and to honor all versions of ourselves and all our emotional worlds that we travel through in life. And so the Forest of Life is the first art and healing kit. It's a physical, tangible thing within the universe of Imovara, and it is a part of the world of healing and growth. And so I created a mug. This is the Roots of Past mug, which represents the past, all the versions that you've been. And this kit encourages you to honor and to love all versions that you've been, because it invites you to accept and respect where you're at and all the beautiful parts of you that exist now. It exists because of all the versions that you've been before. Then we have the Light Within candle. Let's see, there we go. Which, when you light this, it kind of symbolizes that you light your own inner wisdom, because in a world that is so loud, there is so much information, we always tend to seek the answers outside of us. But I truly believe that the most important answers in life are in here, but we just need to find some time and some quiet to listen to what's going on inside of us. And so when you light this candle, it kind of represents that. It invites you to go inward for answers instead of outward. And then we have the Portal of Becoming journal. The Portal of Becoming is kind of like the threshold within the forest of life. So when you walk through the Portal of Becoming, you enter this new, lighter, and more fulfilled version of yourself. And you do that because you've been able to honor all the versions that you've been. You are honoring your own wisdom. And when you walk through the Portal of Becoming, you just enter a lighter and a more authentic and higher potential version of yourself. That's kind of like the symbolism of all of this. And so the journal is here to capture and to document all the processes, all the thoughts, all the experiences that you gain throughout this healing and growth process that you experience within the forest of life. So, and then there is also a deck of cards that has 30 art and journaling prompts in them as like a guide and an invitation. So if you don't really know what to write about or what to journal or what to paint about or what to sketch about, you can pick a card as an invitation to ponder on either something about your past, your present, or your future. And then again, you can document it in the Portal of Becoming journal. So yeah, we have the Art and Healing Kit. We have the Worlds inside of Imovara that will become this. Basically, in the launch live stream that I had a week ago, there was this woman who said, this just sounds like art therapy for inner children. And I think that's basically what it is. It's just art therapy for inner children. But the difference is that I'm no teacher. I'm no certified nothing. I'm just me figuring things out and learning and creating and reconnecting with myself through art. And I hope that by the things that I create, I can invite you to do the same, if that makes sense. So that's what I've been doing the last 10 months. And it has been such a ride. It has been such an incredibly beautiful ride that has been so eye-opening in all ways. And yes, I've had my incredibly hard times as well, and the immense doubt and fear and uncertainty that comes with doing something that is new. I think the one thing, apart from God, that has gotten me through this is that I made the decision that if I am to do this, I'm going to be doing it as a team player with myself. I'm going to do this like if I want, like the thing that I wish to share with people is to love yourself. And, well, that sounds very cliche, but it's true. I want you to understand how loved you are and that you should love yourself and that we should look upon the future with hope and look at the future through the lens of love and kindness towards others and through unity and through color. And if I want that message to go out, I need to embody it myself. If not, I'm a hypocrite, right? I need to live that life myself before I can even start sharing that message. The promise I made to myself was that I will enter this whilst having my own back. I will have my own back through this. So I think like also the moment where I realized I don't want to rely on the government in the future. I don't want to rely on other instances, other things to be safe. That really was like, oh gosh, well that means that if I don't want to rely on anyone else, I need to make sure that this, what I am, my mind, my body, my soul, my heart, that needs to become the safe haven. That needs to be the safe place that I can turn to when things get rough. And I understood from that I need to have my own back. I can no longer walk through life with this self-sabotaging, destructive brain that I've always lived with. Because before it was just like, with everything that I did, I was so self-criticizing. I was so hard on myself. I was so unkind and disrespectful and just talked myself down with everything that I did. It's like, it's just, it makes me sad thinking about how badly I treated myself. I locked myself in this cage of mental health struggles. Worst part is, I did have the key, right? I did have the key, but I didn't know that. And I was trapped in this prison of mental torture that I'd basically put upon myself, because I did not see my own worth. I did not see that I was worth loving. I didn't believe that I could do anything. I didn't believe, it was just bad, right? And luckily, as I've grown older, I think my brain has matured a little bit, and I see that living that way is like the recipe for the most depressing life ever, basically. And I also realized that, I want to live a good life. I want to experience beauty. I want to experience true love. I want to experience joy. And living a good life doesn't mean that I'm deprived of the pain and the suffering. Like, the pain and the suffering and the hardship will always be there, yes. But a good life to me means that I also get the good stuff, right? That regardless of the hardship that life might bring at our doorstep, I have the ability, and I'm safe enough within myself, I'm resilient enough within myself to handle it, and also to experience the joy when it comes knocking, and to see and notice the beauty when it's there. That's the life I want to live. And I think that this experience a little over a year ago with the whole governmental shit and stuff like that, it just really, really made me aware of that fact. That I want to live a good life. In order to live a good life, I need to have my own back. I need to be safe within myself to get there. So yeah, I learned that, the important lesson of having my own back. And I think that, like I said, apart from God, the one thing that got me through and made this come to life was the fact that I had my own back. And despite of the really, really hard times that showed up, and the fear and the uncertainty and the mess, there was always a tiny voice in my head that sounded like, it wasn't a voice, but like a thought or a light or something within me, that when these hard times showed up, it could just even tell me, like, these are not your true thoughts, or it will pass, or just hang in there, like, just keep going, just hold, like, just hold on. I'd never had that before. Like, when I was in a dark place at a young age, or young adult years, that was the end. I really thought that was the end. Like, I thought I'd never get out of it. I thought I'd never see the light again. I thought I'd never experience life in any way. And for the first time in my life, at 27 years old, these last few months, I've had my own back. And I've seen and understood the power and the beauty, and how the incredible things we humans can do when we have our own support. Basically. And like, I know I'm talking from a place, I don't have any success to show for. I don't. Success in the sense of money or sales or customers or like any of the business success sense of anything. I don't. But the personal wins and the personal transformation I have gained through this process is beyond my understanding. And I'm talking about myself, and it's beyond my understanding. And that's why I'm saying, like, if you can have your own back, if you can play on your own team, you are literally unstoppable. Because that means that every decision that you make moving forward, everything that you do, will come from a place of self-love and self-care. And that, in many ways, it can prevent or like lessen the decisions that you make that have a negative self-sabotaging impact on you. I'm not saying that it removes all of it. It doesn't. Because this little inner teammate voice, it started out like barely existing. And it's just like, it has bloomed and blossomed more as the time has gone on. But it needs time to grow, right? It needs time to see that it's safe to come out. To me, it was also like, suddenly knowing that I've been living in this own mental hell cage that I've created for myself. Like, it wasn't like I suddenly burst through the walls. It was more like I had this brick wall surrounding my head, right? And I just gently started chiseling at the first of, I guess, 3 gazillion bricks. I started chiseling at that and like trying to like make it a little looser and then like make it drop on the other side so I could just look through a little peek hole to the outside world and just see, what's actually out there? I kind of approached it with a curiosity of, okay, if I'm not just in my own little bubble, in my own little head, in my own little cage, what is actually out there? And that gave me the courage to chisel and like make another brick fall down. And as time went on and I found a bit more courage to see that, you know what, there is actually beauty in the world outside, there is goodness. And I kept like, how do you call it? I kept knocking down brick after brick. It just, the more bricks I knocked over, the more energy I had to knock down more bricks, basically. But it was also, every step was like peeking over the edge, seeing, oh, is it safe to come out? Like, is there a world out there? Is there a life out there worth living? Where's the beauty? Is there a little bit of hope you can show me? And the funny thing is that once I started looking for it, it showed up. And it gave me the courage and the energy to knock down more bricks, which again gave me a vaster view of the real world. And and it made me knock down more bricks. Anyway, like I said, this video doesn't have a conclusion. I'm just chatting. But yeah, so I still have a gazillion bricks around my head, my mind. I'm still kind of in a cage, but the cage is also open. So it's more like I can now go out of my cage and face the world when I have feel like I have the capability. But I can also go run back into my cage if I feel like everything is overwhelming and terribly scary and I just want to hide. And it's quite a nice place to be. But yeah, knocking down those bricks, being my own team player, and God is the reason why I am here today. But I think that's the weird part of having achieved this and having my launch last week. The launch itself was amazing, with amazing, wonderful people, so supportive and so kind and so loving. And then all of a sudden when that was over, I was like, it was as if chains within the walls of my cage just looped around my hands and my ankles and dragged me back in without my permission. And I was back into the pain, back into the suffering and the fear. Like I haven't been there in such a long time. And I think I'm starting to understand now that it's just because, I've done such a personal, monumental thing that is just a complete shock to the system, and I don't know how to handle it. I don't know how to handle being successful at something because I've never been successful at anything before. And I'm successful at this. I built my little business. I have my web shop. I have my products. I have Imovara. Everything is there. And I'm just completely shocked at having made it. I think that's what it is. And I don't know how to handle that. I don't know how to think or how to feel about having made it. And being here. And what I also think that I understood whilst working on all of this is that when you make changes, when you make big changes, good or bad, it is something that we grow into. Especially good changes, right? We can think that we make a big change and that we're going to feel amazing, but you are still stuck in your old patterns and your old ways of thinking. So to this new change, you will react, at least for the time being, with your old self. And it becomes this like war within yourself because you see all these new possibilities, all the new things, all the new amazing things that are exciting. But you haven't yet really taught yourself, or you don't really know yet how to handle the emotions of these good things. And your ego, who wants to keep you comfortable and keep you in that dark, depressive state because that's predictable, it just kind of like overshadows all it like tries to eat up all the good things, because if it eats up all the good things, you just stay where you're comfortable and you will never be faced with the good stuff, which means that life keeps on being predictable. And so, yeah, like I said, especially if you've had trauma, experience trauma or deeply mental health struggles, your brain just wants you to be safe, and it is a safety mechanism. How do you call it? It's a protective mechanism, right? It's your ego trying to keep you where you're at, no matter how miserable you are, because at least being in this miserable state, it allows you to know what the future brings, or you think that you know what the future brings because you think it'll just bring misery, and that brings a certain comfort. And allowing in the good stuff, at least for me, it's so darn scary because it means possibility, it means change, it means other people, it means other surroundings. And holy shit, that's daunting. And so I guess it makes, of course, sense that I am kind of in shock right now because I've achieved this big thing for myself, which opens so many doors. But I'm still partly inside of my cage. And so, yeah, it's just a complete... Yeah, I kind of am at war with myself. I am also very proud to say that because I really have settled into that being on my own side kind of thing now, I just know that I need to give myself time. I'm not going to fight this feeling. I'm not, because I know that this is just little Frederike being so scared of the world. You know, it's just her freaking out of the big changes, and I need to give her time to see that it's okay to be in this big change, to see that this is actually a good change. It's safe to come out. But safety isn't something that you feel in an instant by just saying, oh, you're safe, go, and then throw yourself out of your nest like a little bird, right? It's step by step. I need to go back and start slowly chiseling at my bricks again, and slowly knocking them down so that I myself can grow into this change and stay there. Because I want to stay there. I want to be in this change. I want to be in this process of seeing the world and seeing life through love and goodness and kindness and faith and color. And the only way for me to do that is if I actually am doing it in a rhythm that my little scared self is capable of handling. Oh, I don't know if any of these words are making sense, but... So I think I know why I feel so bad. I think I know, partly. But I guess, it's funny that I didn't even know that I thought about these things this way until I started talking to you and actually said it out loud. It's funny how when you say things out loud and try to put your thoughts into words, that's when things become clear. So I guess I just did this action of talking to you, not knowing that I needed it, but now that I'm talking to you, I see that I needed it. Because now I kind of understand better my own situation. Great! Oh, yeah. So yeah, here we are. I've launched my shop. I have announced Imovara, which is like, I'm not sure, maybe I've already said it, but like, I have everything pre-filmed and pre-planned. When I ended up in this dark spot, I just was unable to, I'm not able to sit behind, I'm not able to look or consume or talk about anything related to my little businessy thing. It's very bizarre. I have to almost laugh about it because it's just I did not expect to feel this way. I did not expect to react this way. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? But I guess me talking to you about it is a step forward. Maybe this is what I needed. So, and also, like I said, if you have any similar experiences or if you have some wisdom to share, I really would love to hear it. Because I've been like looking all over the internet and watching a gazillion videos trying to understand what this is. And not really seeing anyone talking about that when you achieve something big, it can actually feel kind of shitty, even though it's not shitty. Like, it's a good thing. Like, there's so much, it's just, everything is good. Like, my life has never, you know what? Oh, wow. My life has never been better than it is right now. This is, oh shoot. I just had the realization that my life has never been this good. Or maybe it has been good, but I haven't been able to acknowledge it. My life, this is everything I've ever dreamed of. I am in the process of growing. I'm in the true process of healing. And everything around me right now is good. I have nothing outside of myself that is just wrecking my brain. There's nothing. I've had so many years where there's always something, some kind of outside hardship banging at my skull, as well as my own hardship within my head, and I don't have that now. Everything is good. Everything is good. Maybe I'm just not used to that. Maybe I'm just not used to. Maybe I just don't know how to handle that things are good. That's something like that. So yeah, this is basically me saying, hey, I got a website. Hey, I've launched my shop. You can now check it out in the link in the description. Traveler of Worlds is now live. You can... Yeah, this website is not just like a shop with products. I have everything about Imovara is there. Also, I've opened like a sub shop with my dad that is called the Gifts of Love Gallery, where my dad is a very creative person, like trinket wise. He makes beautiful things with his hands. So he combines art and creativity, making things from reused material. And he's making trinkets that are so hopeful and so loving and so sweet. And so we've teamed up because I make my tiny Gifts of Love paintings. And so these are all just tiny things that you can gift as a token of love to someone who you deeply care about. And so that shop is in there. Everything about Imovara and the Forest of Life and the stories, and like there's a lot more on that website than just a shop. So if you'd like to have a little peek, that would mean the absolute world. I'd be honored to have you there. And yeah, you can find my mug there, you can find my candle there, you can find my journal, and in a week I will be receiving the deck of cards, and it's surreal. It's all very surreal. Somewhere in here I'm very proud of myself. I guess I just need some time to allow that feeling to come forth. I've made it. It's just the beginning in some ways, and in some ways I made it. And now I need to learn to acknowledge and feel good about success. Not success money-wise, not success in the outer world-wise, but success in here. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for me rambling. I think this is a half-hour video now. I have no idea, but it's a long one. So thank you for listening to me rambling, and for being here, and for having me supported all this way. And I'm so excited for what's to come. Also, if you'd like to stay updated on Imovara, you can either subscribe to that channel already now, because I'll start posting, I think in a week or so, I'll start posting there. I'll also keep you updated in the posts and everything. And also remember, we have a very wonderful Discord community with amazing, loving, kind people. So if your heart longs for a community where unity and love and creativity is the heart of it all, feel free to check out the link to the description, to the Discord group in the description as well. I think that's it. So yeah, A Traveler of Worlds has officially launched. Weird times, weird times. Yeah, I appreciate you all so much. Mwah! I'll see you in the next one. Bye, everyone.